Howdly doodly, I am Head Ned. I'm the lead singer and Ned quote compiler from Okilly Dokilly. And this is an oral history of where Okilly Dokilly came from, why it exists, and where we've come from and gone from here. Okilly Dokilly began as a cult for the one true neighborino of Springfield. We all gathered together, we compiled our green sweaters, and we decided that Ned is the one true Ned and the only Ned, and that Ned should have some music. So we got the band together and decided upon that. No, actually, the story of Okilly Dokilly began with myself and our original drummer, Bled Ned. We were kind of sitting around killing the time, coming up with a story, or coming up with this kind of joke of the world's most extreme brutalino death metal band that walks out on a stage and just has pyrotechnics like Rammstein style. They have just this crazy display of gore. It's the most brutal thing you've ever seen, and they say, "Hi, we are," and insert the worst possible band name here. It's like, "Hi, we're the Cashmere Scarves," or "Hi, we're the Wiggliest Worms," or something along those lines. And somebody said, "Hi, we're Okilly Dokilly." And that name for just a brutal hardcore band, that idea, we just started expanding on it. We said, well, what if the lead singer is Ned Flanders? And then we said, well, what if they're all Ned Flanders? And what if all the songs are Ned quotes? And what if we called it Nedal? And then we found a pink flying V in his guitar. And then I realized I could get polos and sweaters pretty easily. And just serendipity kind of mixed with this just obscure sense of humor that we had. And we said, yeah, let's do the Flanders band. From there, we took our time. We took some photos and made a little demo like most bands do. We would describe the band to our friends, and they would not understand at all what we were trying to do. So we decided we needed some photos with it. And once we had some photos online and some demos there, something that, we made in our house and put it out in the world, and we imagined this Venn diagram of, Simpsons fans and of metal fans, and there would be this tiny sliver in the middle that was the 7 or 8 people that was our demographic. That was considerably more than 7 or 8 people. We ended up having 1 million listens to the song on Bandcamp. The photos got spread everywhere, and it's kind of became apparent that our sense of humor and the puns that we created were enjoyed by a lot of people. And we were blown away. Okilly Dokilly went into the studio. We recorded an album with some of the songs we had set up. We went out and filmed a music video for our song Wine Spritzer. We put that online, and we ended up touring in 2017. We jumped on the tour with Max Sabbath and Metalachi, and that was just a brutalino show with sombreros and donuts and burgers backstage. And then from there, we kind of toured around the country. We recorded a second album, and we were coming up on releasing that album. We had taken off and we were on tour, and I got an email that really kind of surprised us and changed a lot. People have asked, they're like, "Ned, have you ever been contacted by anyone at The Simpsons?" And my answer had always been like, "Oh, no, I mean, nobody's really contacted us there, other than we had a tweet from Al Jean a while back that seemed approving." In February of 2019, we got an email from Fox that said, "Hey, we want to put the Wine Spritzer music video on an episode of The Simpsons." And us Neds were quite humbled and blown away. And then in just a few days ago, on this last Sunday in April, we turned on Fox right before a show in Chicago, and there was our music video with the Simpsons credits rolling over it. And over the last few years, the fans that we've kind of gained and come across, and all these wonderful Simpsons fans from across the U.S. were kind of freaking out along with us, and we're humbled. It was super cool to see this kind of fun, goofy idea of being Ned and going for, total Reneducation of the planet and world domination and naming our van Ned Flanders, and all of that turn into something that reached The Simpsons and kind of put us there. And so now we get to tour around the country. Every one of our shows has always been kind of a mini Simpsons convention. These Simpsons fans come up to us and share with us their tattoos and their stories. We have now a really cool story to share with them. We all kind of come from just varying backgrounds. We have a couple members who kind of came from the Bartcore scene. There's a few crusty punk guys that we added on there. Homer Gent was a big factor in one of our drummers' careers. We stole one of the guys from the B Sharps too, and ended up creating Okilly Dokilly as it is now. Yeah, we come from all sorts of different arenas and things. I've played in an alternative rock band that got consistently compared to Weezer, and even saw a recent review of Haddly Toodly where they said something along the lines of, it's Weezer but considerably angrier, which is great. I love that comparison. And we have guys who've done DJ sets. Some of our guys have been in 70s style punk bands. So it just comes from all over the board. But one thing that we don't have a lot of is not many of the guys in Okilly Dokilly have been in metal bands before. Okilly Dokilly is kind of a catalyst for like, here, if you want to play metal, first you have to wear the like green starter vest and the pink polo, and you have to like sweat extra hard on a stage, and then you can earn your Nedal stripes. The way we kind of take Ned and turn it into Nedal. The first record, I used a lot of quotes and things. All of our songs are almost entirely Ned quotes. And I used a lot of quotes from some of the things that I knew, some of the more like popular episodes and scenes, like Nothing at All, and it's kind of where Wine Spritzer came from. For the second album, I kind of had to get more methodical with it. What I did is I sat down and I watched the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons over the course of about a month. And that was honestly probably the best songwriting session that I had, and what I could consider work was just sitting down and watching one of my favorite TV shows. And I filled a notebook with all of the most brutal Ned quotes, or even ones that weren't brutal in the least, that I was going to force into a Nedal song. And from there we wrote 20 songs and we narrowed it down. The CD ended up having 11 on it total. The process that I've got is to watch, to take down the quotes, and then once I've got a nice quote, build a guitar riff out of it, and try and make it as brutal as possible. My relationship with The Simpsons was kind of that of like a beloved family member in a way. I grew up with the show, and it's something that my family enjoyed. My dad was, he was always exposing me to cartoons that I was probably far too young to comprehend or understand or should have seen. So I grew up just watching the show. Even as I've gotten older, to go back and like rewatch old episodes, there's so much there, and there's so much good stuff there that I can't help but just thoroughly enjoy. One of the coolest things that I've seen at our shows, with them kind of being a mini Simpsons convention, is the amount of people who come out like dressed along with us as Ned Flanders, or we've had Heavy Metal Mod, and we've had Rod and Todd in the mosh pit, we've had a Sideshow Bob. We went to the UK last year, and in London we had 25 bonus Neds, which is our term for neighborinos that come, dressed real nice. And it was great because you're wandering through this crowd of people dressed like Ned Flanders, and nobody, even band members, were like handing stuff to autograph to fans in the crowd who were like, oh, okay, and whatnot. It just became this like such a confusing mix of so many Ned Flanders in one place. That ended up being one of my favorite moments at a show. As far as backlash goes, we've had one or two shows where people like to play the part of Homer. We've had, of course, anytime you delve into the comments section of anything online, you don't always find the nicest stuff, and any criticism that we get, we just chalk it up to like, oh yes, those are the Homers. I'm for it. What is a Ned Flanders band if there aren't any Homers? At a show we had a couple fans that were there to heckle the entire time, and what kind of works about being Ned Flanders and being heckled the entire time is it absolutely fits well. Anyone who watches The Simpsons sees Ned Flanders get heckled. that is part of it. So I think in maybe trying to deter us from, doing what we were going to do, they actually just added to it. Any word that you can fit diddly into that. It's absolutely imperative that you do that. Anybody in your life that's nearby, call them neighborino. That's an excellent term. And as far as Nedal fans go, we often use the word brutalino to describe our music. When it comes to transitioning from neighborino to Ned, the outfit is dependent on some core things. The green sweater, of course, is always good. The collared shirt underneath, we usually go with a polo. Collared shirt is acceptable. Glasses are good as well. But I do warn that there are some dangers that come with being a Ned at an Okilly Dokilly show, and that is you're in a sweater and it gets pretty toasty in there. That and glasses in a mosh pit tend not to do so well. So make sure if you are going as Ned and you have prescription glasses, I might swap those out. Obey rule number 1 of Nedal, and that is to respect thy neighborino. We tell people at every show, and I love seeing it, the mosh pit gets brutal. People are shoving people around, and a neighborino drops to the floor, and you just see a swarm of Neds pick that person back up. Us Neds are thankful for all the neighborinos out there that have come to shows dressed up to have a good time, and we're really excited for all the future shows that we've got, all the neighborinos we've yet to meet, and all the places we're going to go back and see them again. Howdly doodly, I'm Head Ned from Okilly Dokilly. For more videos from your favorite artists, like and subscribe to APTV.